In my previous life, I took the university entrance exam for my twin sister. When the acceptance letter from a prestigious 985 university arrived, at the celebration party, my sister pushed me from the top floor of the building. All because mother insisted on a natural birth, causing me to be born first, and my sister to suffer severe oxygen deprivation in the womb. From a young age, her health was fragile and her memory poor. It's all your fault, elder sister. This is what you owe me. My parents, wanting to protect my sister, fabricated evidence, claiming my fall was an accident. But when I opened my eyes again, I couldn't believe it. I had returned to the day before I was to take the university exam for my sister. Sister, Mom and Dad and I are going out for a big party. You stay home and study hard, okay? A sweet yet familiar voice echoed in my ears, laced with unconcealed smugness. I forced my eyes open and looked at the girl whose face was identical to mine. She wore an adorable smile, but her pale complexion couldn't hide the joy in her eyes. And why wouldn't she be happy? Tomorrow, someone who once scored high enough to enter a top university, but missed the exam due to a high fever and failed, would help her complete the test. I looked at the mountain of textbooks in front of me, then at the calendar counting down to the university entrance exam. A large number stared back at me. I was stunned, barely daring to believe it. I had actually returned to the day before the university entrance exam. A wave of bitter irony washed over me. In my previous life, I failed the exam. My parents scorned me, saying I brought shame to the family and that they couldn't afford to let me retake it. They left me to fend for myself. I decided to work and save money to study again, but Mo Lingling stopped me. Sister, you have to take the exam for me next year. What if your grades drop if you go to work? She said it as if it were the most natural thing in the world. My parents' eyes lit up when they heard this. That's right. You harmed your sister's fragile health. This is what you must do, so it was decided. It's not like it's the first time you've helped Lingling with exams. What's one more time? You're so selfish. Don't you want to retake the exam? After you take it for Lingling, at most, Mom and Dad will let you study for another year. They coerced me into agreeing until the university entrance exam was over. I accidentally overheard Mo Lingling's boyfriend, Li Kang, bragging to his friends, "You won't believe it, guys. Lingling got into a 985 university. I played a part too. If I hadn't drugged her older sister's food last year, she would have been sick and unable to take the exam, right? How else could she have taken it for Lingling? So my high fever and missing the university entrance exam weren't accidental. I had been drugged. I plunged into an icy hell, my whole body cold and trembling, confronting Mo Lingling. But during our struggle, she pushed me from the 30th floor. I died instantly. Mo Lingling was never punished. My parents helped her destroy evidence, fabricating a scene that made it look like I fell. She calmly went to the city for university, enjoying a bright future, while I died forever in that summer. Seeing my silence, Mo Lingling pretended to care. Sister, you don't look so good. Get some rest early after studying, okay? Remember to take care of your health. Mom and Dad are waiting for you to get into a top university to bring honor to our ancestors. She stopped there, as if afraid of reopening my old wounds. But I was no longer the me of my previous life. It wouldn't happen again. I lowered my head, clenching my fists, my eyes red. This time, I would absolutely not let anyone control my life so easily. Outside, my parents' voices echoed from the balcony. Lingling, why aren't you down yet? Did your sister bully you again? Mother walked in, shielding Mo Lingling like a hen protecting her chick, looking at me with immense dissatisfaction. Mo Yi, don't think that just because you're taking the exam for Lingling, you can get cocky. Helping your sister get into her dream university is your blessing. Otherwise, with your bad luck, you might never even know what the university entrance exam looks like in this lifetime. Those venomous words, even a stranger would feel insulted hearing them, but my mother spoke them so casually. All because I was the child born first, making her beloved sister sick and weak from childhood. But clearly, the doctor had advised a C-section due to a breech birth, yet mother insisted on a natural birth, saying it would be better. In the end, she had a difficult labor, and all the blame was laid on my head. I sneered inwardly, filled with sarcasm. If I was the unfortunate one, then shouldn't Mo Lingling be the one taking the exam tomorrow? My mother was stunned, not expecting me, her usually submissive daughter, to dare to talk back. She froze for a moment, then immediately exploded in anger, raising her hand and slapping me hard. Mo Yi, how dare you talk to your mother like that? I'm your mother. Do you have any conscience left, daring to curse your sister? Today I'm going to teach you a lesson. She was about to hit me again, but Mo Lingling feigned distress and pulled her hand back. Stop, Mom. How can sister willingly take the exam for me if you're like this? It's okay if I suffer a little as long as she calms down. The more my mother heard, the angrier she became. She bullied you and she still has an excuse? Her failing the university exam is her karma. A person with such a malicious heart, even heaven won't spare her. After saying this, she seemed to remember that I was supposed to take the exam for Mo Lingling tomorrow. So, she reached out again, pinching my arm hard and warning through gritted teeth, "Tomorrow, you'll take the exam for Lingling. If you dare to play any tricks, just you wait." From a young age, I knew I was the unloved child. Compared to me, a healthy child who ran and played all day, my parents doted on Mo Lingling, who was always sickly and frequently hospitalized. When we first started kindergarten, the teacher would give red flower stickers every day to well-behaved children. I saw my friends stick them on their foreheads, receiving praise from their parents and all kinds of snacks and toys. I imitated them, hoping to earn a smile from my parents. But when Mo Lingling saw me wearing a red flower sticker, she burst into tears. Why does sister get to go to school while I have to drink bitter medicine every day? Mom and Dad, I want to go to kindergarten too, okay? At her words, my parents' gentle faces immediately turned cold. Are you showing off to your sister? You're so young, yet your heart is already so evil. How could I have given birth to a child like you? Get out. My mother tore the sticker from my face, crumpled it into a ball, and threw it into the trash. Her long fingernails scratched my forehead, leaving a bleeding gash. I cried out in pain, not understanding what I had done wrong. But my crying startled Mo Lingling. That night, I had a high fever. As a result, my mother beat me severely with a clothes hanger and locked me in the storage room for a whole day. From then on, I no longer went to kindergarten. Mo Lingling, spoiled rotten by our parents, became increasingly overbearing. Tormenting me seemed to become her favorite pastime. She devised all sorts of schemes to make our parents dislike me even more, and true to her wishes, I became a complete thorn in their side. I was banished to the cramped balcony, while my bedroom was transformed into her study. She brazenly dumped all her homework on me. Every time there was an exam, she would feign illness and force me to take it for her. I tried to expose her once, but in our parents' eyes, I was just a cunning, manipulative child. The older I got, the more disillusioned I became. I gradually gave up trying to win their affection. Instead, I placed all my hopes on the university entrance exam. I wanted to get into a university far from home to escape this hellish place. But they didn't even want to give me a chance to choose. My parents had taken Mo Lingling to the party. My cheek still stung, my eyes burned. Something uncontrollable silently rolled down my face. My parents favored my wicked sister, and I, a fool, was always exploited to the bone by them. This twisted and disgusting family, I didn't want to stay for another second. All those who had hurt me, I would make them pay. I wiped away my tears, opened the balcony door, and searched for the household registration book and my ID card in my parents' room. Then, I fled the cage that had imprisoned me for 18 years. It was June, and the weather was already getting muggy. Under the dim streetlights, mosquitoes buzzed ceaselessly in my ears, but my heart had never felt so light. The mountain that had weighed on me for 18 years, it turned out, wasn't inescapable. With the meager money in my pocket, I boarded a bus. Half an hour later, I stood before the gate of an unfamiliar residential area. The security guard wouldn't let a stranger like me in, blocking me outside. But I couldn't leave. This was my only chance to escape the tiger's den. I stubbornly stood there, refusing to give up. "Oh, why are you here?" I looked up and met a pair of gentle eyes. I wanted to say something, but my throat choked up. I could only utter two trembling words, "Mr. Zhang? Mr. Zhang?" Mr. Zhang froze, looking at my red-rimmed eyes. He hesitated for a moment, then finally asked nothing, just gently helped me up, patting my back. His voice was slow, "Come with me first." Mr. Zhang was my high school homeroom teacher. He treated me very well. Last time, when I had a high fever and missed the university entrance exam, he came to my house. After learning that my parents didn't want me to retake it, he even offered to sponsor me to study for another year. But at that time, my parents had already decided that I had to take the exam for Mo Lingling. They didn't appreciate his kindness at all, even mocking him. "Mr. Zhang, why are you meddling in other people's affairs? You can't even teach your own daughter, and you want to manage our family matters." "That's right, our Lingling has her own arrangements. Why bother, Mr. Zhang?" Mr. Zhang was a dedicated teacher, but his husband had died early, and he only had one daughter. Before the university entrance exam, his daughter fell in love with a ruffian. He strongly opposed it, but she eventually eloped with him. This news spread throughout the district, making Mr. Zhang a laughingstock. Decades of teaching, yet in the end, he was shamed by his own daughter. This was like a thorn deeply embedded in his heart. Even when my parents rubbed salt in his wounds, he gently looked at me and asked one last time, "Do you really not want to retake the exam?" Despite being so insulted, he wasn't angry. He still let me decide my own path. He looked at me with sincere eyes, hoping I would choose a better direction for my future. But my mother glared at me, subtly warning me not to say anything wrong. I stood behind my parents, my fingers clenched, and finally whispered, "Mr. Zhang, my parents said they want me to rest for a year, then they'll let me study again next year." I still remembered the disappointment in his eyes at that moment. In my previous life, I was so foolish, betraying even the only person who was truly kind to me. I collapsed into his arms, sobbing uncontrollably. I cried so much I couldn't breathe, as if wanting to release all the humiliation of a lifetime. Mr. Zhang gently stroked my head and handed me a glass of water. I took a few sips, my voice trembling as I spoke. "Mr. Zhang, I'm sorry, I lied to you. My parents don't intend to let me study again. They just want me to take the exam for Lingling. From the beginning, they never intended to give me another chance. I don't want my life to be ruined like this. Can you give me another chance?" I tightly clutched his hand, bowing my head in shame. He had no obligation to help me, and a year ago I had even hurt him. But Mr. Zhang didn't abandon me. "Good child, it's not too late to turn back now." He stroked my head, his gentle voice echoing in my ears. "From now on, you'll stay at my place. Next year, just focus on doing well in your exams." I froze, tears welling up, and looked up at him. In just 1 year, because of his daughter's situation, he had gained a few more wrinkles around his eyes, and his hair had turned much grayer. But he was still as gentle and resilient as ever. "All right, don't cry anymore. My daughter's room is still empty. From now on, you can stay there. Don't worry about anything. Get a good night's sleep." I heard that the next morning, when my parents and Lingling discovered I had run away, the whole family went into a frenzy. My mother furiously smashed everything, screaming, "That bitch, I should have strangled her in the womb. The one who stole all of Lingling's nutrients. She's truly an evil spawn. Don't let me find her, or I'll beat her half to death." Without me, Lingling had to take the university entrance exam herself. But how could she do well? From childhood, all her homework was done by me, and all major and minor exams were taken by me. Besides burying her face in her phone and dating, she knew nothing else. Studying was like rowing against the current. If you don't advance, you fall back. Lingling improving, from beginning to end, she was only treading water. In the exam room, holding a pen, she couldn't write a single word. This suffocating pressure directly caused Lingling to break down. The result was as expected. Her total score was 27 points. It's no exaggeration to say that if you put the exam paper on the ground and stomped on it, the score might be higher. Let alone university, not even a junior college would accept her. But none of this concerned me anymore. I focused on preparing for next year's university entrance exam. Even with memories from my previous life, I dared not be complacent, not even for a single class. I knew very well this was my only chance to change my fate. After the summer break, with Mr. Zhang's help, I successfully joined a retake class. What surprised me was that Lingling was also there, and even in the same class as me. I had thought that with her hatred for studying, she definitely wouldn't want to retake the exam. 3 months later, she looked noticeably thinner. When she saw me, her eyes were filled with almost unconcealed resentment. "Mo Yi, so you are here." The moment she opened her mouth, I understood she was here because of me. For the past 3 months, she and our parents had searched everywhere for me, even going to Mr. Zhang's house to cause trouble, but he had stopped them. "Mo Yi, you're so cruel. Just because Mom scolded you a few times, you dared to ruin my entire life. Do you know how devastated I was after that exam? Do you know how my old friends mocked me? It's all your fault." I looked at her coldly. "My fault? All of this isn't because of me, it's because of you." Thinking of what happened in my previous life, I clenched my fists. By what right do you think I have to do everything you don't want to, while you just sit back and reap the benefits? Mo Lingling's eyes widened in disbelief. She pointed at me, angrily shouting, "But my bad grades are your fault. You took all the nutrients in Mom's womb, causing me to be oxygen deprived. That's why I'm stupid and can't absorb knowledge. It's all your fault. You have to take responsibility." As she spoke, it was as if she convinced herself, becoming increasingly smug and arrogant, tossing her chin up. "Mo Yi, I'm giving you one last chance. Next year, you have to take the exam for me." "I won't take it for free. I'll help you retake it. Don't blame me for not warning you. If I tell Mom and Dad that you're studying again, do you think you can still live here peacefully?" They say you can't wake someone who pretends to be asleep. With someone like Mo Lingling, let alone waking her, I only wished she would rot in her own pit. But instead of confronting her directly, I had a better plan. I looked at her, my face showing the familiar fear I used to display at home. "Okay, but you have to study seriously." A triumphant smile flashed in Mo Lingling's eyes, but outwardly she solemnly promised, "Don't worry, I will definitely take the exam carefully." Sure enough, Mo Lingling didn't tell our parents about me studying again. My days remained the same, waking up and studying, even more diligently than before. Mo Lingling was very satisfied because she believed that no matter how hard I tried, the final result would be hers. So, she started to let herself go again, skipping classes daily to go on dates with her boyfriend. Her boyfriend's name was Li Kang, 20 years old, a notorious playboy in the area. But instead of calling him a boyfriend, calling him Mo Lingling's loyal dog would be more accurate. In this small town, he was the wealthiest among her pack of admirers, so she made an exception and upgraded him to boyfriend status. Although I had made an agreement with her, with Mo Lingling's personality, she absolutely couldn't be trusted long-term. If I told our parents directly, it would completely cut off her escape route. She wanted my scores, not to ruin me, so she would definitely ask Li Kang for help. Sure enough, half a month later, one evening after school, I was blocked in a small alley by Li Kang and two of his henchmen. "You're the one who dared to bully my girlfriend?" Li Kang, a cigarette dangling from his lips, tilted his chin at me, full of provocation. I frowned, disliking the smell of smoke, and took a step back. "What do you want?" Li Kang sneered. "I've come to avenge Lingling. Anyone who messes with Lingling has to pay." Then he ordered his henchmen, "Hold her down, strip her clothes, and take pictures. How dare a lowly person like her bully Lingling?" His two henchmen eagerly advanced towards me. I glanced at the three of them and immediately understood. Mo Lingling wanted to use compromising photos to control me, but had she ever considered that Mo Lingling and I were identical? Even if they took pictures of me, I could claim the person in the photo was her. Li Kang froze. His two henchmen, hearing this, also found it reasonable and turned to look at him, awaiting orders. I curved my lips into a smile. While they were stunned, I pulled out my phone. Li Kang immediately became wary. "You want to call the police?" I casually shook my head. "No, I just want to let you hear something interesting." Before he could react, I pressed play on the recording. A familiar female voice rang out. Female voice 1, Yi impersonating a friend. "Sister, your relationship with Li Kang is very good, huh?" Female voice 2, Lingling. "Good, what's so good about it? Later, I'll go to a big city. How can I tie myself down for life with a useless guy who just loiters around in this small town all year round?" Female voice 1, "Then why are you still his girlfriend?" Female voice 2, "Just keeping a backup plan, what's it to you?" The recording ended. Li Kang's face turned ashen. His two henchmen exchanged glances, not knowing what to say. Even if Li Kang was Mo Lingling's lapdog, after years of being a playboy in the district, he still had a strange sense of self-respect. Now, right in front of his henchmen, he was exposed as just a backup plan. How could he possibly tolerate this? "This is the outcome I wanted," he growled through clenched teeth. "By what right should I believe you?" I flashed an innocent smile. "Of course, you don't have to believe me. After all, if you want to deal with me, isn't it as easy as flipping your hand? What do I gain by tricking you? I have a way to help you verify if my sister is truly sincere with you. Try it, then decide." But no matter how I planned, I couldn't prevent our parents from discovering that I was studying again. Perhaps it was because Li Kang didn't send photos to Mo Lingling, making her anxious. At this point, she didn't bother to save face anymore. As long as they dragged me home, our parents had 1,000 ways to force me to obey. So, When I saw two angry pairs of eyes glaring at me from outside the classroom door, I wasn't surprised at all. My mother couldn't control herself, rushing into the classroom, grabbing my hair and yanking hard. Mo Yi, you ruined your sister's university entrance exam and you still dare to study again, you evil spawn. How can you be so vicious? Caught off guard, I staggered, nearly falling. The entire class was stunned by this scene. Who's that? Just walked in and started hitting someone. What do you mean she ruined her sister's university entrance exam? What did Mo Yi do? I struggled to pry my mother's hand away, cradling my throbbing scalp and gritted my teeth, asking, ruined her exam? Do you mean I didn't take it for her? Before I could finish, my father rushed over and kicked me hard. Thump! I was sent flying, knocking over 2 or 3 desks. My forehead slammed hard into the corner of a table, hurting so much I felt dizzy. But he wasn't satisfied, pointing at me and cursing, "You ungrateful wretch. I raised you for so many years, and this is how you repay me. I should have strangled you in the womb." Mo Lingling, who had been watching the show, now put on an act of purity and helped me up. She pretended to be worried, her voice almost in tears. "Sister, Mom and Dad already know you impersonated me in the exam, but I don't blame you. Just don't defy Mom and Dad anymore. Hurry home and apologize." Her words were like a drop of water in a hot pan, causing the whole class to buzz. What? Mo Yi deliberately impersonated her sister in the exam and then failed it? So cruel. She ruined her sister's future? Something's wrong. The university entrance exam is so strict, how could Mo Yi sneak in to take it? But the two sisters look exactly alike. Her parents said so too, right? I coldly shook Mo Lingling's hand off, propped myself up on a desk, and stood. A warm, sticky liquid streamed down my forehead. I touched it, fresh red blood. I stared at Mo Lingling, my voice icy, repeating, "Say it again that I impersonated you and deliberately failed the exam." Blood filled my eyes, coating my vision in a layer of red. I knew that at this moment I must look terrifying. Mo Lingling's eyes reddened, showing a look of grievance. "Sister, if you say it wasn't you, then it wasn't. It's just my bad luck." As soon as she cried, our parents were unbearably heartbroken. My father roared, "Enough, Mo Yi. How much longer do you plan to cause trouble? Come home with me now." The whispers around grew louder. Could it be true? Her parents said so too, it must be right. After all, Mo Lingling always studied well, only this university exam was bad, and Mo Yi never had good grades. Mo Yi is truly disgusting. They're clearly twins, why doesn't she resemble her sister at all? This last sentence echoed, making my head pound. My daughter, you're so kind. Why are you so selfish? You and Lingling aren't alike at all. A person like you doesn't deserve to exist in this world. I wish you could learn a little from Lingling. From childhood, they had always compared me to Mo Lingling. In their eyes, Mo Lingling was the moon in the sky, while I was just filth in a cesspool. They favored her but forced me to emulate the image she created. All my defiance was seen as mischievous and unfilial. But I am me. I don't want to, and I don't need to, become anyone's replica. My father reached out, intending to grab me. I don't know where I found the strength, but I picked up a chair, slammed it hard onto the ground, and yelled, "Go home to do what? To continue being a tool for Mo Lingling to cheat? To be kicked out like trash after the exam?" The whole class went silent, not just silent, but stunned. Suddenly, a recording played in the classroom, repeating, "Mo Yi, don't think that just because you're helping Lingling with the university exam, you can get cocky. Helping Lingling get into a good school is your blessing." Stop, Mom. How can sister willingly help me with the university entrance exam if you're like this? Tomorrow, you'll take the exam. If you dare to play any tricks, just you wait. All eyes in the classroom turned to Mo Lingling. She was about to cry and pretend to be pathetic, but her fabricated words stiffened in her throat. "This bitch, how dare you record?" My mother's face twisted, her mouth agape as if she wanted to swallow me whole. I gave a cold laugh, wiping the blood from my forehead. "Why wouldn't I dare? You only allow yourselves to force me to cheat, but you don't allow me to resist? Being shameless has its limits, right? Sometimes you're shameless, sometimes you lose face entirely. What's that about?" From the moment I was reborn, I had secretly recorded everything, just in case they tried any tricks. Whispers started around the room. Mo Lingling's face turned paperwhite and she fainted on the spot. "Lingling, what's wrong, my child?" My parents panicked, frantically supporting her. They were so worried they even forgot I was injured. But just as they were about to leave, a group of police officers entered the classroom. "Assaulting someone and disturbing public order. Please come to the station with us, both of you." Behind them was Mr. Zhang. The police presented their badges, but my father didn't even bother to look, waving his hand and batting away the officer's ID, yelling, "What are you meddling in our family affairs for? I beat my child, I have the right. It's fine if I beat her to death." For the first time, I saw Mr. Zhang, a usually gentle man with red eyes. How can people like you be called parents? Selfish, biased, not even as good as beasts. His hands trembled as he gently wiped the blood from my forehead with a tissue. I smiled weakly. "It's okay, Mr. Zhang, it doesn't hurt much." He frowned, his voice full of anger. "Bleeding so much, how can it not hurt? Come, I'll take you to the hospital to get checked." He tightly held my hand, warmth spreading through my entire body. It turned out, I wasn't a child unloved by anyone. Tears welled up. I quickly sniffed and smiled, nodding. The classroom camera had recorded the entire incident. I refused to reconcile. As a result, my parents were temporarily detained for 15 days and fined. As for Mo Lingling, after being questioned by the police, she admitted to taking the university entrance exam herself. Because if she admitted to cheating, it would be recorded on her permanent record and affect her for life, she didn't dare to take responsibility. My parents' faces became extremely ugly when they heard this. It turned out Mo Lingling knew she would fail, so after the exam, she lied to our parents that before entering the exam room, I had come to her, apologized, and said I wanted to make amends by doing well. She had foolishly believed me and forgiven me, but she didn't expect me to deliberately do poorly out of jealousy. My parents, already biased towards Mo Lingling, believed her immediately without question. That's why they spent all their time looking for me to avenge their beloved daughter. When I heard this, I rolled my eyes. Only idiots would believe them. My parents were furious but quickly forgave Mo Lingling. After all, she was their precious daughter whom they had spoiled for 18 years. As for me, I would always be the evil spawn unworthy of existence in their eyes. Mo Lingling lied because she was afraid of hurting them. She was a gentle, pitiful angel, while I would always be the wicked one deserving of hatred. I sneered. This time, I had no interest in arguing with them anymore. I stood up and left without hesitation. 10 years ago, perhaps I would have been heartbroken, but now I didn't care anymore. At present, I only wanted to see them face their karma and then laugh heartily. Afterward, Mr. Zhang took me to the hospital. I underwent a full examination, and the results showed no serious problems, just bruises. The wound on my forehead was merely a scratch with no concussion. While we were there, Mr. Zhang and I visited his daughter, who was hospitalized. That's right, Mr. Zhang had found his daughter. In my previous life, during Mo Lingling's celebration party, I happened to glance at a news report. A girl had just walked out of the local train station when she was struck and killed instantly by a runaway truck. At first, I didn't pay attention, but when I saw the interview with the family, I saw Mr. Zhang. It turned out the victim was his daughter. At that time, Mr. Zhang seemed to have aged a decade, his hair completely white, his face filled with exhaustion and despair. I didn't know the exact date of her accident, only that it was before Mo Lingling's party. So, in the scorching July, I went to the train station almost every day, waiting. Mr. Zhang had helped me so much, I also wanted to repay him with my own ability. And finally, I succeeded. I saved Mr. Zhang's daughter. Her name was Gu, named after her deceased father. She was a few years older than me, so I called her sister Gu. Although saved, she was severely injured. I thought he truly loved me, but I didn't expect him to just want me to get pregnant before marriage. When I refused, he beat me and locked me up for a whole year. Finally, I had a chance to escape. "Mom, I'm sorry, I know I was wrong. And Yi too, thank you. If it weren't for you, I might never have seen Mom again in this life." Mr. Zhang and Sister Gu hugged each other, crying, clearing up all misunderstandings in their hearts. Mr. Zhang immediately reported to the police and sued the family who had abused Sister Gu, ensuring they received appropriate punishment. After that day, my parents still didn't give up, but I had the audio evidence. I warned them that if they dared to bother me again, I would post all the recordings online. Nowadays, with the development of the internet, cases of domestic abuse are exposed by netizens every day. My parents were afraid of public backlash, so they finally shut up. Mo Lingling, seeing that force wouldn't work, finally softened her tone. "Yi, you're my sister. Can you really bear to see me stuck in this tiny town for life? I was wrong before. I only listened to Li Kang and thought you were deliberately delaying, so I told Mom and Dad. I really didn't mean it. Have you forgot? I was born weak and constantly ill, while you're healthy with a bright future. Why can't you dedicate 1 year to helping me so we can both win?" She tugged at my sleeve, her eyes brimming with tears, looking frail and weak like a suffering beauty, her face pale and eyebrows furrowed from recent illness, appearing utterly pathetic. But I knew her too well. She was merely a wolf in sheep's clothing. So I didn't bother to pretend anymore. I coldly shook her hand off, my eyes filled with disgust. "Both win? Would you really let me win? In your head, you're probably thinking about how to kick me out after we've both won, right? You're an adult now. You have a brain, you can think for yourself. If someone tells you to eat feces, would you eat it?" I gave a cruel smile, and by the way, I truly hope you stay in this small town your whole life. It would be best if you rot here. Now, get out. Mo Lingling's face contorted in anger, but she quickly calmed down as if remembering something. She glared at me coldly. "You don't know whose person I am now, do you?" She puffed out her chest, intentionally showing off the designer bag in her hand. From her words, I understood that she had found a new boyfriend, even more powerful than Li Kang. "Do you know who he is? He's a dominant, powerful CEO, not someone you can deal with. I advise you to think carefully. With just one word from me, your life will plunge into hell." Hearing this, I snorted with laughter. I only wanted to give her 2 words: foolish, because it was all a trap set by Li Kang and me. Remember the road incident last time? Everything was a play. After the recording played, Li Kang initially didn't believe me. "You and Lingling are twins, your voices aren't much different. Just mimic her a little and it's done. Do you think I'm stupid and easily fooled?" This guy wasn't quick-witted, but his intuition was quite accurate. Yes, the recording was fake, but so what? Humans are inherently suspicious. With just a small crack in trust, doubt would quickly take root and grow. I successfully planted the seeds of doubt in his mind. I cleverly enticed him. "Didn't you say you and Lingling have true love? Such a small test, she'll definitely pass, right?" Li Kang immediately nodded. "Of course, I'm so good to Lingling. She's gentle and fragile. I've helped her solve so many problems, even the last university exam was." At this, he abruptly closed his mouth, avoiding my gaze. I pretended not to hear, just smiled and guided him through the loyalty test. I told him to create a fake account, posing as a wealthy CEO, and befriend Mo Lingling. Why choose this method? Mo Lingling had been with Li Kang for a long time, but she hadn't actually gained much benefit. Firstly, Li Kang's family was only well off, not exceptionally rich. Secondly, to maintain her image of being weak and kind, Mo Lingling had never explicitly asked him for money. But I clearly understood her true nature. Beneath that fragile exterior was a bottomless greed. She wanted the best things. To achieve her goals, she wouldn't even bat an eye if she had to step over others' corpses. I instructed Li Kang to use the fake account to transfer money and send her luxury goods. Sure enough, within a week, she fell into the trap and started an online relationship. What drove Li Kang mad was that even though she was immersed in her love for the CEO, Mo Lingling continued to keep him as a backup. Not only did she make him a cuckold, she also wanted him to continue being her loyal dog. When Mo Lingling proposed that the CEO help her deal with me, Li Kang couldn't take it anymore. He used the fake account to arrange a meeting with her. Mo Lingling was overjoyed. She put on heavy makeup, donned her most expensive dress, and entered the hotel with dreams of becoming the CEO's wife. Before entering, she mumbled triumphantly, "Soon, I'll be the CEO's woman. Mo Yi, just you wait and see who the true winner is." But when she left the hotel, she was carried out on a stretcher, caught in the act. Yet she stubbornly refused to admit it. "No, no, why are you here? Where's my CEO?" Li Kang went insane, roaring, "I treated you so well and you dare to cheat on me?" Mo Lingling tossed her head without a hint of remorse. "Can you please not speak so harshly? I never loved you. I'm going to be the CEO's wife." Li Kang's eyes turned red with rage. He grabbed a shattered piece of glass and slashed Mo Lingling's face. As a result, Li Kang was arrested by the police, and Mo Lingling was hospitalized for a long time. I heard that after she woke up and learned the whole truth, she went completely mad on the spot. But those matters no longer concerned me. I comfortably completed my semester exams, then enjoyed the winter break. This year, I didn't go home to my parents but stayed at Mr. Zhang's house. The New Year's Eve dinner was incredibly lively. Sister Gu had fully recovered and was discharged from the hospital. In addition, there were 7 or 8 other people whom Mr. Zhang had helped. We chatted and exchanged New Year's wishes. Seeing everyone laughing and talking happily, for the first time in my life, I felt what true family was. Before, on New Year's Eve, My parents would only eat with Mo Lingling, while I, the child considered an evil spawn, could only huddle in a corner, listening to them laugh. "What are you thinking about, lost in thought?" A familiar voice rang out. I turned around and saw the police officer who had arrested my parents, Officer Wang. He had also been a student helped by Mr. Zhang, so he came to join the celebration today. After learning about my situation, he was very enthusiastic and even gave me his phone number, telling me that if I ever encountered anything critical, I could contact him. Officer Wang raised his glass of fruit juice, clinked it with mine, and smiled broadly. "Everything that has passed is just the opening chapter. Your future will surely be bright." Everyone around us also raised their glasses in agreement. "That's right, cheers to a new beginning." Mr. Zhang also smiled. Everyone was laughing. That warm laughter transcended the cold wind outside the window. The heater today was especially warm. My whole body was filled with warmth. I firmly believed that this time, I would have a truly beautiful future. Time always has a way of playing tricks on people. When important things happen, it flies by in the blink of an eye. The snow had gradually melted, the ground warmed up, and the temperature rose day by day. Only 2 weeks remained until the university entrance exam. My parents came to school again to cause trouble. The reason was that I had posted the recording of them forcing me to cheat for Mo Lingling online. As a result, it went straight to the top of search trends. With the university entrance exam approaching, all issues related to exam fraud were tightly supervised. I didn't bother to hide my identity, so netizens quickly found the Mo family's home address. They cursed vehemently, even gathering at their doorstep. Neighbors nearby even brought rotten eggs and wilted leaves, throwing them at the house. The Mo family's door was sprayed with bright red paint with the words, "Get out and die." My parents lost their jobs, and neighbors gossiped and slandered them right to their faces. Mo Lingling was so scared she didn't dare step outside. The whole family fell into hell. But this time, my parents couldn't even get past the school gate. The security guard recognized them immediately and pushed them out forcefully. "Cause trouble again, and I'll call the police." My parents tucked their tails between their legs and left, not daring to make any more trouble. Not long after, Mo Lingling came to beg me. Looking at her now, I almost didn't recognize her. Her face was covered in crisscrossing scars, so much so that even a mask couldn't cover them entirely. She was emaciated, her eyes deeply sunken, looking no different from a ghost in a horror movie. I smiled with genuine amusement. "Mo Yi, what are you laughing at? You and Li Kang tricked me. You destroyed me, don't you know? Why don't you regret it? Why are you so selfish? If you have any conscience left, switch identities with me. From now on, you're Mo Lingling and I'm Mo Yi." I scoffed. "In your current state, do you think you're worthy of being me? Aren't you ashamed? When you told Li Kang to drug me before the university entrance exam, did you ever regret it?" Mo Lingling froze, her eyes wide. "No, no way." "How did you know? You knew from the beginning, so you deliberately sought revenge on me, right? I only gave you a fever-inducing drug, I didn't kill you. Do you need to hate me this much? Did you ever think if you died, who would do my homework and take my exams? Why didn't you think about me a little?" "Why should I think about you?" I pulled out my phone from my pocket and shoved it directly in front of her face. The screen clearly showed a live stream with a flood of comments. Is she crazy? Poisoning her own sister and still thinking she's justified. Ruining her looks is too light a punishment. She and Li Kang are truly a horrible couple, absolutely unforgivable. Hearing this makes my blood boil. If she were my sister, I would have killed her long ago. So disgusting, it makes me sick to my stomach just thinking about it. Too foolish. I'm calling the police now. Mo Lingling burst into tears on the spot, but now her crying made her look even uglier. I felt nothing. I was extremely satisfied. The day I walked into the university entrance exam. Finally, the exam day arrived. Mr. Zhang personally took me to the test site. Sister Gu and the other seniors whom Mr. Zhang had helped also came, each holding a bouquet of flowers. One person teased, "With so many flowers, Yi, it'll be strange if your arms don't get tired coming out of the exam room." I winked playfully. "Please be gentle, everyone. I still have to do well to bring glory to Mr. Zhang." Mr. Zhang, wearing a pale yellow cheongsam today, his face full of pride, was very happy. He looked at me with eyes full of pride. "Believe in yourself. You can do it." This was the first time in my life I had walked into the university entrance exam on my own to write my own future. This year, the university entrance exam became particularly lively. Mo Lingling also registered to take it, but she didn't rely on her own ability. She paid money to buy answers online. As soon as she had copied 2 words, she was caught red-handed by the invigilator. Knowing her life was over, she panicked and rushed to snatch exam papers from other candidates. But as soon as her hand touched the next desk, the invigilator immediately restrained her to the ground. Before the exam even ended, the news had exploded online. After the last subject, I walked out of the exam room. Many reporters were waiting. There was no other way. The incident of Mo Lingling cheating, drugging, and hiring someone to disrupt the exam room was trending. It was hard not to be recognized. A reporter approached and asked me, "What are your thoughts on this matter?" I thought for a moment, then calmly replied, "I have no special feelings. She has her karma, and I have my future." In the distance, those who loved me smiled, holding fresh bouquets, waiting for me to approach. I immersed myself in the June sunlight, gently taking steps towards a future that belonged only to me. Mo Lingling fell into a hell with no escape. Not long after the exam ended, Mo Lingling was beaten and hospitalized. The candidate she had disturbed in the exam room was severely affected, so they sought revenge. Her parents lived like rats on the run, slandered and attacked by netizens. Their entire family sold off their apartment, gathering money to both treat Mo Lingling and sustain themselves. But the tragedy didn't end there. My father believed in online gambling advertisements, borrowing heavily to bet. In my previous life, when I failed the exam, they said they had no money to let me study again, telling me to fend for myself. What was the result? He not only lost every last penny, but also accrued a huge debt that he couldn't repay even if he sold himself. Creditors came to their door, smashing the rented house. The landlord, fearing involvement, immediately evicted them. My mother couldn't endure such a life, abandoning her family and fleeing alone. My father descended into alcoholism, his temper growing increasingly violent. Before, he doted on Mo Lingling, so he only hit me. But now, no one protected her anymore. Whenever he was drunk, anyone who appeared before him would be brutally beat. Mo Lingling was trapped in her hospital bed, unable to resist. The pain, both physical and mental, made her life worse than death. "It's all your fault, you bitch. You ruined me. Why don't you just die?" My father punched her, making her curl up in pain. Why did things turn out like this? Shouldn't I have stolen Mo Yi's scores and gone to the city for university? Why? Why? My father punched until he was exhausted, then collapsed onto the floor and slept like the dead. Mo Lingling desperately crawled up, quietly smashing all the wine bottles in the house. She pulled out a lighter and, without hesitation, set the house on fire. "No, this isn't right. All of this is fake. It's fake." The flames erupted, engulfing everything. But none of this had anything to do with me anymore. I had a future filled with light.